Hello Moglets, today we're doing a dedicated review, showcase, build guide, whatever for Ganyu. Also, yes, as you can see, Rose Gang, it's a little bit brighter than I kind of initially thought it would be, but whatever. I think it's pretty cute. First of all, the bird test. Can we get rid of all of these birds? Almost, one escaped. Thankfully, Timmy wasn't here to witness the slaughter. One quick note before we get started, I've noticed 100% of you guys watching this aren't subscribed. What's up with that? We passed the 150k milestone, which was mega poggers. However, 169k subscribers, you know, the number. Alright, enough messing around. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ganyu. As these videos typically go, we talk about her build, what she has equipped. This is actually a purely free-to-play Ganyu we have here. She is currently C0, and the weapon she has equipped is Prototype Crescent, which is the most free-to-play bow you can actually have. Just do be aware that free-to-play does not mean I started playing last week, okay? Yes, I know, you have to get lucky enough to get bow drops, you know? That has nothing to do with not free-to-play though. Everyone has the same chance to get prototype drops. Let's get that out of the way. It is refined 4. Yes, it's high refined, but it doesn't need to be refined 4. I think Prototype Crescent is an amazing bow for her because, first of all, she has one of the highest base attacks, I think matching Diluc actually, so the attack main stat here is already pretty awesome. It does have a fairly okay base attack, it's pretty average honestly. It does get beaten out by a couple other bows in terms of base attack like Black Cliff Warbow, Sacrificial Bow, and of course every 5-star bow, but those aren't really free to play. Black Cliff may be a little bit, because I mean, even as a free-to-play, you can still summon and grab weapons here every now and then. Granted, you don't want to go for the characters. But talking about Black Cliff Warbow, you know, it has a higher base attack and it has crit damage main stat, which is also very, very nice for Ganyu. The passive is perfectly fine as well. Granted, it won't proc with just a couple of strong enemies or bosses like Wolf Boss, but those are pretty unusual circumstances in all honesty, and the attack boost does last a pretty long time there. If you're not free to play, the Battle Pass bow is also good for her, giving her crit rate, because you want to be building her with a lot of crit damage. And so just the main stat crit rate on the Viridescent Hunt would be enough so where you don't really have to worry about substats as much on your artifacts. But we gave her Prototype Crescent, which I think is a very, very good bow for her in many situations. Charge attack hits on weak points increase movement speed by 10, who cares about that, but attack by a massive 63%. And while it is a little bit hard, and sometimes even impossible, since they don't have a weak point, to hit them weak points, I think it's worth it. It makes for some pretty awesome moments, I would say, but I guess that's enough about the weapon. Basically, Prototype Crescent is going to be amazing if you don't have anything else. Granted, you're either on PC or some kind of mobile aiming god. I do also want to demonstrate mobile aiming, because if you didn't know, I actually half play on iPad and half play on PC. And yes, I'm still maining Ganyu while I play. It's obviously quite a bit harder, but we'll demonstrate that as well. In fact, we might be doing it right now. I have yet to actually record any gameplay, so I'll probably be playing it over my commentary right now. There are a couple little things I do. One of them, however, is never going into aimed shot mode. I always just hold the attack button and sort of wiggle my thumb to make fine adjustments, but a lot of how I'm aiming on mobile is actually moving the character more than I'm moving the cursor or my thumb. So when you get it lined up vertically, I basically just move my character to the right or the left to line it up with their head and release. It sounds a bit more complicated and time consuming than it is, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty natural and pretty, you know, easy. Most of the time anyway, when you hold the attack button, they're already kind of aiming, you know, at that vertical alignment. So you basically just have to move the character. You don't even have to move the cursor all that much. I still do find it much more difficult to get headshots on mobile than it is with PC, so you might want to consider a different bow than Prototype Crescent if you're strictly a mobile player, but being a mobile player does not prevent you from maining Ganyu, because you can also just aim at their feet. The biggest thing with maining Ganyu is that AoE spread shot. It does more damage than the initial shot, and it's AoE. If you feel like you're not hitting your shots, aim at their feet. Best case scenario, you hit their feet and do that initial damage. Worst case is you miss their feet and you hit the ground right next to them, and the AoE, you know, hits everyone around there anyway. Also, make sure to go into the options and mess with that sensitivity slider. Lower the sensitivity if you're overshooting and going too far so that you miss them, and raise the sensitivity if you're falling short. Granted, there are only 5 different steps of sensitivity here, so I'm not sure how much it'll help. I've always just left it on 4. So now we're going to be talking about her artifact build. I am currently going 4-piece Blizzard Strayer, which I think is also very free-to-play friendly, as it is a farmable artifact set. Gladiator is too, but it's much harder. With this set, it's good to have a water in your team to keep them frozen. I honestly haven't been following that rule too much, so the 4-piece is a little bit useless for me, or it has been so far. I'm still kind of working out who I want there, but it'll probably end up being Mona. Mona can release her E and do some water application over time. Another good set for her, which I might swap to eventually, is Wanderer's Troop. The 4-piece specifically increases her charge attack damage by 35%. And of course, this is where she gets most of her damage. If you're planning on making her a support, then we kind of probably have to go back to the weapon and talk about weapons. I'll quickly say that Sacrificial and Stringless are going to be fine for support Ganyu. As far as artifacts are concerned, Oblige for the elemental burst damage, of course, is going to be nice. And you can still go with a 2-piece Blizzard Strayer. So those are pretty much the options, but what I have is 4-piece Blizzard Strayer. Here are the subs on the flower to start. I mostly focus on crit rate and crit damage. You should also have a pretty good focus on attack though, because of the aforementioned super high base attack she has. Here again, we have crit rate, crit damage. I really would have liked some attack percent, but that's just how it rolled. Here's the same story, massive amount of crit damage, a little bit of energy recharge. I just built her with a ton of crit damage, attack percent here on the sands. Of course, she doesn't need much energy recharge. It's not very expensive to start. And then, you know, her ult lasts a very long time with an even longer cooldown. Of course, cryo damage bonus, this is going to apply whether you are maining her or having her as a support. The subs weren't all that good here, but it is cryo damage bonus on the Blizzard Strayer set, so I accepted less than ideal substats. And finally for the circlet, we have crit damage with okay subs. We got a decent chunk of attack there finally, and a little bit of crit rate as well. So we can take a look at our overall crit and stats. A little low on HP and defense, so just don't get hit. We have almost 2100 attack there, and when it comes to the crit rate, crit damage, it does look somewhat pitiful at 31% to 218 crit damage. But do be aware, first of all, we can get up to 40% from Blizzard Strayer, bumping that up to a max 71%. And then from her Undivided Heart talent here, we'll get an additional 20% crit rate for those Frostflake arrows, bumping those attacks up to 91% when we're hitting frozen targets. So in ideal situations, it's enough crit rate actually. She could benefit from a little bit more, unless you're also running another cryo unit in your team. Then she has over 100% in ideal conditions. As you can see, 2 Cryo Resonance increases crit rate against opponents that are frozen or affected by cryo by 15%. Again, she is C0, but let's talk about her constellations anyway. They're all actually quite decent. C1 helps her regenerate energy even faster so that she needs like literally no energy recharge, and it reduces their cryo resistance. C2 is also very nice. Her E gets an extra charge. C4 is the typical Poggers constellation. Basically, enemies standing within her AoE ring will take up to 25% more damage. As for her C6, it's also amazing, but I think it is a little overhyped. Yes, you can do instant charge shots, I guess up to 2 of them, because you can hold 2 charges from C2 here. But ultimately, it doesn't take that long to charge in the first place, and at least how I play, I use that charging time to actually line up my shot and make sure I don't miss. And that's especially important with Prototype Crescent, because, you know, to get that attack boost, you have to hit their weak point. But I guess anyone that has her C6 probably also has a 5-star bow and isn't using Prototype Crescent anyway, so they'll just hit the floor, I guess, rapidly. But yeah, she's currently at 966. I decided to go with normal attack because I am maining her as a main DPS right now. There's really not much to say about talents. The higher you level them up, the stronger they're gonna be. That's just how it is. I'm just showing you this to give you some reference because we are going to be doing some gameplay with her as well. First of all, we can get a quick idea about Prototype Crescent's abilities here. So we're going to go ahead and hit. And she went from almost 2100 attack to 2629. So again, a pretty massive boost there. You see she has 844 base attack, which is just insane. And that effect will last for 10 seconds. As long as we keep doing, you know, weak point hits, it should just keep resetting and we'll keep that massive attack boost all the time. Now, of course, when it comes to slimes, they don't actually have a weak point, so that's quite unfortunate. But thankfully, most other enemies do, so in general, you can take advantage of that. I think for our first demonstration, we're going to go to Viridescent. It's just kind of the place I'm always initially using, even though she doesn't get much bonus here because it's physical. So we're gonna try and suck them all together, do Ganyu's E and Q, do Mona's E and Q. After spamming everyone's skills, I'm gonna go back to Ganyu and do some charged shots. So let's give this a try. Yeah, that looked actually pretty solid, actually. Granted, after all the ults and stuff, there wasn't much left of them, but what was left, Ganyu got rid of rather quickly. I will be trying her over in Abyss when it resets tomorrow over on twitch.tv/Mogati, so make sure to follow there. And besides that, we're just gonna be doing some general, you know, real life gameplay, nothing super set up or special, just kind of how I'm using her. Most of the time I'm not taking too much care to keep them frozen, and here, for example, it's raining anyway, so they are frozen regardless. But yeah, some pretty pog damage numbers there. There goes that big hilichurl. Yeah, they're all kind of just getting one shot. It's pretty fantastic. Do you really want some of this, little man? I didn't think so. We have a little hilichurl up here being annoying. Little baby that's dead now. Just in case it's not wet enough out here, we're going ahead and release Mona's Q as well. And it's kind of cool when you freeze these guys, the shield dudes, you can basically just kind of go through their shields. Do be aware that even though it looks like her Frostflake arrow's AoE comes from the top and goes down, the shield dudes still can block it. It's just at certain angles, I guess they won't. Here we have more dudes and it's not raining anymore, so now we do gotta pop out Mona, get them all frozen. There we go. We also got to take care of her HP. I've noticed she is quite fragile if you're not careful. That's also, of course, due to me just building her how I built her. Her little E thing here does scale off of HP, but I wouldn't bother building her HP for that. You know, it's just not worth it. Looks like here we will just have some small enemies, which is kind of cool also, I suppose. You can see her abilities. Take care of those guys real quick. Oh, well, I guess those are going to be a bit of a problem since they're immune. And you know, just hitting the ground as well is fine, especially in this case because I can't weak point them anyway. Can take a look at her basic shot damage as well, which honestly isn't horrible, but yeah, when it doesn't crit, it's pretty meh. We should also talk about the elephant in the room. What's gonna happen to my poor Keqing, my poor main Keqing that I've been maining since day one? I have actually been thinking about keeping them in the same team, because here's the thing. Bow users do not need stamina for their charged attacks. Keqing needs a lot of stamina, because not only do her charge attacks cost stamina, yeah, but she does charge attacks very fast, and she depletes stamina like crazy. So I was thinking kind of like for actually hard stuff like maybe Abyss, I could start with Keqing, expend all of my stamina, and then move on to Ganyu and continue doing some decent damage. That's not really necessary for the basic gameplay we're doing here because enemies won't survive me losing all of my stamina. But for example, that last floor of Abyss, one of my main problems was that I kept running out of stamina and couldn't do charge attacks anymore. And I'm quite sure in terms of pure DPS, like literal DPS, damage per second, Keqing does win. It's just that it's not very sustainable due to the fact that you run out of stamina and then you can't do charge attacks anymore. Here are a couple of Abyss mages. Probably will need Venti here, but Ice is quite good against the water dudes, so there's that. Is that actually a treasure box? What the heck? Now that he's down, however, we're going to get him wet, do some of this good stuff. I don't know why he actually wasn't frozen, but whatever. It's fine. He died fast, and that's the point. How does she fare against, like, bosses? Let's go fight Childe. I'm not too sure about this, to be honest, because Childe can't even be frozen, so that's kind of a problem, but that just means we're gonna change our party a little bit, and we're gonna get Bennett in there. As you can see, his HP is going down. Oh, my HP is going down. Interesting theory. All right, well, we need to heal up. Going to swap to Ganyu. Boom, get out of here. Boom. Alright, so he's done with that. We are healed up decently well. He's going to Thunder though, which is a problem. But we got that headshot. Okay, we missed. Oh god. For Childe, it might be better, honestly, to just aim at the floor because he's so tiny and moving everywhere. Honestly, even when you are, he sometimes avoids it just because he's moving around all the time. But you can see him coming, you know? That's kind of the advantage with like a bow user, you know? That section was actually easier than usual, I have to say. How about this section? That should have been actually a headshot. Okay, I think what I want to do is probably use the rest of my team also. Try and get Bennett's ult. We need some healing anyway. Alright, here we go. So. Oh no, Ganyu. I was too careless. All right, I'm not going to bother trying to get headshots, I guess, for now. Well, maybe I will. I do have prototype Rancor after all, so it's kind of important. But yeah, that's crazy damage. We can probably basic attack him to death now. Yeah, I've never been a bow main, so my aim is still kind of bad, but, you know, even with my bad aim, it's still pog, you know? What about Oceanid? Actually, I want to try and solo with her. I think because of the fact they're always going to be frozen, maybe it won't be that hard? I'm not sure though, I might be biting off more than I can chew. I'm having PTSD flashbacks. Also, she can't heal herself at all, so I gotta be careful. I think the birds will be the biggest problem here because they attack so fast. Spores shouldn't be any problem. They're just kind of dumb and they're gonna go for the flower anyway. Yeah, okay, that was easy peasy. Premeditate that. Oh, the crabs? Crabs shouldn't be any problem either, sort of. You can just freeze them in place. Yeah. Pog. But now we have double, and we can only kind of freeze one group at a time. We can throw the E at one group and focus on the other to start, maybe. We'll see how that works. All right, let's throw the E at this group and focus on this group. Too small. I'm not gonna bother. Well, maybe over there. Yeah, I think that got them both. Okay, gotta throw another E, and hopefully they eventually focus on it. Ooh, they're coming after me. Nope, still coming after me. That's bad. Ow. All right, but I think we got that. Yep, let's go and use it. Ooh. We got the little, this dude. I don't know how to avoid his explosion unless I'm already far away. Let's see. Okay, that was far enough away. There we go. Just try and get all three of them. Force them to stay there. What are you gonna do about it? Oh god, no! Stay away from me. Uh-oh. That's bad. Oh no! Not while I'm this close. Oh, now I'm dead. No, one pig left. Whatever, I'm not gonna bother with it, but for it being my first try, I'm sure it's pretty easy to solo with her. And yeah, besides the actual hard content of the game Abyss, I'm not really sure what else I should showcase. Naturally, she's not gonna be that great against the Cryo Regis Vine. Guess we can also try and solo this daily quest. Why not? Hey, wait, I threw the thing over there. Don't you wanna go over there and get the thing instead? But I guess while they're focusing on that, boom. And a boom. Okay, that didn't actually do anything. Hit me. That's what I thought. He is wet already. All right, that's good. Now just go around here, or whatever. Okay, whatever happened works. All right, I'm gonna try one more thing, and that's Stormterror. I'm gonna see if it's viable just to not even climb up his little trunk thing and just stay on the ground and, you know, shoot his crystal from the ground. Let's check this out. Oh my god. Get out of my way. Okay, that's super annoying, and that shouldn't have even happened. Oh, and I hate how the camera does that. Yeah. I don't know about that. Actually, maybe if I had released my ult, it would have worked. Oh wow, what the hell did I just hit though? Will it be a lot easier just to get him down early? Oh yeah, dude, look at that, because of the AoE. I should probably get out of here. Look at that, dude. And he's down. Alright, so when it doesn't happen all messed uply, guess we should also try the Q, I suppose. It'll keep him with like the cryo state, but does it actually do any damage? It doesn't seem like it does. Oh yeah, it's just kind of rare that it hits him. Knowing that, the ult might just be a waste of time. But yeah, I suppose that'll pretty much do it. Make sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. Leaving a like on this video if you did happen to enjoy is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.